Something that I've wanted from WWE for the longest time has been proper mid-card championships. There are rumors right now that we are going to be getting a women's Intercontinental Championship and a women's United States Championship. I could not be more excited if they do this. I think it is long overdue for them to properly give so much of the roster a title to go after. The women's divisions on both Raw and SmackDown are loaded. There's tons of talent, not to mention the talent from NXT and that they inevitably draft and bring up to main roster. There's so much, and they have the women's tag team titles. Those are good. They're actually doing more emphasis on the women's tag titles right now, which I appreciate, but for the longest time, those tag titles have not mattered all that much, and I don't like it when they shoehorn two wrestlers together, make them a tag team just for the sake of doing it. So if they are doing this, it's a great move. But how do we get there? How do we crown a new women's Intercontinental Champion, a new United States Women's Champion, women's United States Champion, whatever you're gonna call it? So let's first talk about potential matches, because WWE typically has a couple of options here for how they would do this and crown new champions. We could get a battle royal, which I think is just the laziest thing that they could do, and we have seen that. And we saw it most recently with like Becky Lynch winning a battle royal on Raw for the world title. I don't want that. I don't want no stinking battle royal. Do the TNA, do the reverse battle royal. There you go. Yeah, run in the ring, or do something weird like go and like get the title, and whoever can grab the title in the middle of the ring, they have to climb the ladder and hook it. Is something stupid. I don't know. Do something different is all I'm saying. Now, they probably won't. They will probably do, at best, a tournament. Now, would you guys want to see a three-way tournament brackets like they've done with Money in the Bank qualifiers? Or if you have to have a tournament, do you want to do traditional 1v1? The mid-card division itself wouldn't be massive. It's not all the women, so we got to shrink this thing down and the pool would be a little bit smaller. But for matches, and to get there, to crown a new champion on Raw and SmackDown for the IC and the US title, do you want pre-picked people to go and just have matchups, or do you put them in like just a fatal four-way match at a pay-per-view? I would love them to do just something different. Stipulation matches leading to it. Gauntlet match is also fun to crown a contender. Maybe do multiple gauntlet matches. I don't know, just something unique. But what about contenders? Who could be in the Intercontinental bracket, the US bracket? Let's assume that they have a United States Championship, and that would be on SmackDown to go with the men's US Championship, and the women's IC title goes on Raw with the current men's IC title. They like to keep it all branded kind of similar, right? So let's look at the Intercontinental division for the women. What could it potentially be? Who could be contenders? Who could be the first champion? Now, do we want everybody in the IC title division for the women? No. First name could be added in as one of like almost the anchors. I think Asuka. Asuka obviously could put her in the world title division, but you know what? She would be excellent as a giant name, a former champion that you want to put in there and again, anchor the division a little bit. She could be a lot of fun to utilize in there just as a contender. So Asuka, I am going to put into the women's IC title division. I'm not going to go through every single name, like Becky Lynch, world title, Liv, Rhea, all world title. Not everyone's going to make it in here. Dakota Kai, another part of Damage Control. Dakota, I think, definitely would fit in the Intercontinental division for the women because she doesn't have anything to do with the tag side of things. Kairi Sane and Io Sky, they're more slotted as the tag team together. Asuka as well with Kairi Sane. I think Dakota Kai really needs some kind of singles run. You could put her in the world title division, which would be great, but I like to see her do more. And if she was Intercontinental Champion with the rest of Damage Control, it gives them more credibility again. Ivy Nile, definitely somebody that I would want to see break out. They have done solo matches, singles matches with Ivy Nile. They have also had her team up with Maxine Dupree. She's done a little bit of the tag stuff, but she is somebody that I think should stand on her own as a face in the Intercontinental division. Just a workhorse champion, that kind of thing. She could potentially be like an inaugural champion. It would work. As I go through the list too, Kiana James, brand new from NXT to main roster. She's nowhere near sniffing that world title division. So I think Kiana James is somebody that you could put in there, not to win the first, to become the first Intercontinental champion, but I think somebody that you want to establish, bring up in that division, and maybe she could eventually get there. Lyra Valkyria is also somebody I think totally pegged for the IC division, because Lyra is right now sniffing around working towards the World Heavyweight Championship. She was in Money in the Bank. Your Money in the Bank spots were okay, but definitely somebody that came from NXT, and WWE is focused on pushing and establishing as a new name and kind of one of the anchors of Monday Night Raw. I could really see them just pulling the trigger on Lyra. Again, Queen of the Ring, she was in there. She had a big showing. She was in Money in the Bank. Definitely think they would want to position her pretty high in there, and she would be like top contender. Natalya, also somebody that I think would totally work in here as Intercontinental Champion, because you have somebody that's more of a veteran, established, like an Asuka, who can help bring up younger talent in there. And Natalya already does this a ton. And you know what? Her with the title could be a lot of fun if they can kind of nail her character a little bit. And if you want somebody that is going to be a more established name as your first champion, Natalya is not a bad choice. Now, also we have in here Maxine Dupree. I flip on Maxine because she's doing all the Alpha Academy stuff right now. She has a lot going on. I don't know. Like, she could tag team with Ivy Nile and be staying in the tag division. You could have her float a little bit, but she's just so far down on the list for me right now that she doesn't do too much. I think you want more workhorses, more established talent for the Intercontinental division. Now somebody that came back recently, they formed a new faction, and I love factions. Sonya Deville. She's teamed up with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. She's recruiting them. Sonya Deville is somebody I think would be awesome as IC champion. You've got Shayna and Zoe. They can go after the tag titles, and them individually also, they would be perfect. Shayna as a champion, I wish I could see that again because I liked her NXT run. And Zoe Stark, she'd also be good as a IC champion. But I think if they go off and they're fighting Damage Control and they're going after tag titles, keep them as a tag team and have Sonya anchor that faction and have her walking around with a white strapped Intercontinental title. That would look really cool. And the last name from Raw, Zelina Vega. And I think Zelina is somebody that you definitely can center the Intercontinental title division around a little bit. She's somebody that you could have in there. But for who could be your final, let's say final four in, let's say you got a fatal four-way. And you can put final four of who could be contenders, real strong contenders. For me on my list, I would put Sonya Deville, I put Zelina Vega, Lyra Valkyria, and you know what? I will put Natalya in there as more of an established now. I'll put those four in there. But as your inaugural champion, I'm gonna say Zelina Vega. I think Zelina has constantly shown good work. They showcase and feature her a ton. She does a lot of the PLEs as well. She's had title matches and title opportunities. She's over with the crowd. She's part of the LWO. Give the LWO more credibility in there. Give Zelina the Intercontinental title. I think it would be cool. It would work well. She's somebody I would love to see with the title. But then you have a lot of names you could mix it up with. Like, you could then have Sonya versus Zelina Vega in a match. Lyra Valkyria can climb up the rankings. And the division there, if you have the IC title division for the women, you have enough depth that you can work with. And you could like spin people up and down, right? If at some point Liv Morgan, the Rhea story kind of fizzles out and we're over that like next year, Liv Morgan can work in the IC title division and it would totally make sense. And then you could boost other names up and down and it would be a lot of fun. All right, next up, we're gonna look at the Women's United States Championship, presumably on SmackDown if we get this. I love doing a little bit brainstorming here with everybody. But as we go through all this, guys, I was hoping that you could hit the notification bell, because as I look at the stats for the YouTube channel, I can actually see that 77% of people that watch the channel have not hit the subscribe button. So it would mean a lot if you like the content that we do here and everything we cover. It would mean a lot because we're trying to work towards 10,000 subscribers. So I hope I can have your support. Now for the Women's United States Championship, let's look at the SmackDown division here, everybody. Gotta go over here. Hold on a second. Where is it? BFAB. Don't think so. Like BFAB, I want her to do more with the Pride, but she's in more of the manager role. Like, you could put her in the US title division. It could work. I'd like to see if BFAB can do a little bit more wrestling. She hasn't done very much. She hasn't featured that much. I don't really know what their plan is with her. So BFAB, I'm going to say is just on the out. Some people would be like, oh yeah, she's going to be my champion. I'm like, that's great. This Matt's booking here. Bayley's your champion. Bianca, I still think, is doing the tag team stuff. Plus, I think she's just much more suited for WWE Championship, the main title division. So I'm going to keep Bianca off that. Blair Davenport, 100% in the US title division, needs to happen. Blair, I think, should have been in Money in the Bank. It would have been great to have her showcased and featured. She hasn't done enough yet on SmackDown. I think if you had her regularly featured on SmackDown, going after the US title, it's a great story. She can play it up as a heel. She'd be a good contender in there. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are still a tag team. We're going to keep this tag team division still strong, right? Like, this is still a thing that they're doing. They are both firmly in the tag division. I can see them both being single stars. Candice is kind of like a Natalya in terms of been around, wrestled a ton, She can work with a lot of different opponents, but I think that she'll stay with Indy as a tag. Chelsea Green, 1000%. I would like to see Chelsea going after the women's championship. I wish she won Money in the Bank, but it's Tiffy time. And I like Tiffany Stratton. That was good stuff too. Chelsea Green though, if they had the US title on SmackDown, Chelsea would be like top contender champion for me. Because of just how much good work she does, and totally putting a belt on her would awesome. It'd just be fun. Elektra Lopez, same as BFAB, just kind of doing the manager role, the valet. Like she's not doing too much just yet, so I'm gonna keep her out of the US division at the moment. Jade's a tricky one for me because a lot of people will be like, she's not ready, she can't even do singles matches, brother. And I'll be like, well, yeah, she hasn't done long matches, she's always in the tag stuff, and she's with Bianca, they're eventually gonna turn on each other, right? And I think they're still going after the tag team titles. Jade, I think that if you put her in the US title division, she'd be champion, but you would also like squash everybody in there. That's not what you want to do. And I think that they have Jade pegged for larger things, being in the championship division, the world title division, you know, the big title division, working with Bianca and doing all of that. I think that's where they would want to position her. If she was US champion, it'd be cool, but I don't think people are looking for that. So I'm gonna say Jade, no, she's not in the US division. Now here's a cool name that I think totally could be in there and work really well, potentially as a champion. Michin Mia Yim. Mia Yim is great, and I think she would fit perfect. Give her more TV time and get her to showcase more of what she can do, get her in a proper storyline. Her with the US title could be a lot of fun. That'd be kind of cool. Another person here, Naomi. Naomi is tricky because I could see her, and she has been, you know, dealing with Bailey and being tag team there. She's dealing with Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax. She is like kind of firmly up in the title scene anyways, in that picture. She was in Money in the Bank, but Naomi is such a great name. She's established. She can anchor a show, she can anchor a division. You could put the title, a US title, on Naomi, and I think it'd be really fun. She's been a former WWE like SmackDown Women's Champion. Naomi's a great name to have in there. And again, their divisions are loosey-goosey with WWE. You could have her just be US champion 1 month and then just boost her back up to the women's championship. Nia Jax, I say no for now because I think she's going into SummerSlam anyways for the title, so she's firmly out of there. Piper Niven, yes, I think if her and Chelsea stay as a tag team, they're interesting as a team because they've had singles matches. Piper's had the singles match with Bailey, but you got Nia kind of taking that role as like big dominant monster heel. I don't think you need both of them in a similar division, so I think Piper in the US title spot, that'd be cool. Her and Chelsea can have a little rivalry together, or they can go and flirt back as tag teams, because the tag team division is cross brand, but like, I don't know, they're kind of a mess with the tag stuff. Tegan Nox hasn't been on TV very much. I don't know if she's injured or not, but Tegan Nox is somebody definitely you can start building in the US title division. Not necessarily winning it out of the gate, but somebody that has the potential that they could build over time and that they could grow and eventually get their scrappy underdog. Tiffany Stratton, it's Tiffy time. Yeah, she's gonna cash in eventually, maybe SummerSlam. So Tiffany Stratton, she's up in the world title scenes. Now, like we did with the IC title, who would be kind of your final four if you're gonna have a US title for the women? For me, I am gonna say Naomi as one of them. Chelsea Green is another definite name that I'm gonna have in there. Michin Mia Yim, that is another contender for me that would be like a top four. And then the fourth name, I'm gonna go with Blair Davenport as my final four. I think you could put the title on any one of them and you got something really strong. But for me personally, I'm gonna go with Chelsea Green because Chelsea's way too entertaining. She was a fan favorite at Money in the Bank. I love the work she does. She's very entertaining. She's well-rounded. She can wrestle. She can have programs with kind of anybody. Yeah, she still plays it up as a heel right now, but she's just so entertaining that she's over with the crowd. You get a huge pop if you have Chelsea win the United States Championship. She can use Piper Niven as kind of like her muscle and having her protect her. She can get some cheeky wins here and there and keep the title for a few months as you bring up another baby face to take down Chelsea. But what do you think? Are we getting United States and IC titles for the women? I really hope so. I think it's long overdue. But if you guys want to talk more WWE, like SummerSlam predictions, who's gonna win, who is gonna lose at SummerSlam, that's what this video is all about. Early predictions for SummerSlam. Have a great day. See ya.